Thank you.
You need a chair?
No, I started.
wanna tell
I
all
thought
this.
we were going to get up and do the pledge of.
We are in a second.
It's been taking longer.
I didn't mean to draw attention.
That's okay. So how many have I got for lunch tomorrow? Buzz? The chief? 1, 2, 3.
Goodbye.
Sounds
And we'll figure out where would you like to go to?
Actually, if we're gonna be at Corey's, are we allowed to all three of us be in the same building?
Different booths.
Oh.
I'll play.
Well, he'll be in the kitchen, so.
Good. All right.
I'm just trying to get ahead now.
Raise your hand if you're coming to lunch tomorrow. Because you jot your name down on this paper.
Yeah.
Kevin needs to make us December quota, so we can do that.
Well, you probably should pick a time,
You just
it's been hard to.
turn that, you can turn the whole thing, I don't care, just turn it.
Towards
Yep, there you go, right there.
11:30?
center Pat right in there.
Well,
Thanks.
center Pat, and you're not in it.
Perfect.
I can tell you you're not, right? I know you don't want to be in it. Okay, all right, I apologize, everyone. Just doing some last minute Christmas shopping upstairs. All right, so we stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we are recording. Mute your cell phones. There.
Laughing with
Did
you.
you steal my pen again?
No, I did not.
Okay, the first item is to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I make a motion to accept the minutes with one correction as already noted.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Next item is the authorization of the payment of the bills.
Make a motion to do so?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Oops, I skipped A. Yeah, that's all right. Financial status. So we have all of our monthly reports, which is fantastic. It's beautiful.
Any questions?
I really like it where you can see how much is left. And so finally, it's finally arrived.
Are we gonna talk about the bond payment?
That's after.
That's, okay.
That's in our adjustments.
Okay.
The things that you would note on here is that the due froms that we talked about are in the process of being paid off. You'll see the large balances still. So we were doing that actually today. And then something supplemental is we have billed for all of our outstanding real estate taxes that weren't received. And we're gonna get $53,488.39 back, along with almost $5,800 in interest and penalties.
Oh, very good. Who doesn't like a good check for interest and penalties?
Well, when they receive it, right?
That's why it's a check, not a bill.
Yeah.
Jones was down here this past week, so all of those are current now. That was the question you had on the Earl Abbey last time.
Oh, right. Okay,
So generally, we're on track.
Right.
fantastic. All right,
Really, really good job.
I'll make the motion to accept the treasurer's report.
I'll second.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous.
Yeah, codes next. Oh, no, the water department, sewer and water first.
Sure. All right, Buzz.
I know you asked at our last meeting to get some kind of waiver getting that furniture stuff in the church. We put like thumb screws in there, and they're a flush mount thing, so they flush mount, put it back in,
Perfect,
so they're all fixed up.
perfect. I got a lot, if you guys have your time, I've got a lot more stuff on the church.
Well, I know you said something about the ramp going in, but.
Well, that's the summer.
The weather's just not-
Yeah, no, it's all interior stuff that we've got. I've got a list I'll send you.
All right.
It's, just some of the stuff that's a result of codes and fire inspection. So putting in some emergency lighting, some lit exit signs, getting some fire extinguishers installed. And yeah, there's a couple other things I'll let you know though. I'll tell you.
Also, something I see that there's gonna handicap, I don't know if there's a handicap bathroom.
There's not, and right now, as long as we don't do any major renovations to it, it's grandfathered, but as soon as we do anything of any significance, we open it up. And then at that point, we have to figure out what we're gonna do, because we need to put an addition on to be able to put in the bathrooms. So, but the stuff I have it's all stuff, like I said, like the lighting and that sort of thing. So.
Quotes on the generator.
Oh, I'm working on it. What I have gotten is, it's almost cheaper to buy, you can buy 2 fixed generators instead of mobile, for the price you can buy the mobile.
Really?
So I'm really thinking of putting this fixed one there. I mean, it's like double.
And what's the benefit of having the mobile versus the fixed?
Well, I thought it, was reasonable enough. You could, if you had like number 3 pump was tore down.
Right,
You were running number 2 and the power went out, you could be able to generate that one too and have them both be able to do the same thing.
right,
That's the only thing about that.
okay. Yeah, well, leave it.
Do we mount one of the generators onto a trailer and make it mobile?
Well, that's basically all it is it's mounted onto a trailer and you move it around. I don't know what the big, cost of the trailer. I mean, the cost of the trailer is a lot higher buying it through them. I don't know why you just can't buy a trailer and put it on it. and move it around.
Yeah. Want to explore that?
Can.
Makes sense.
But I was
Sounds
just
like a good
beginning
winter
of
project.
Yeah.
getting close to the generators.
Okay,
Might as well. But thank you for the work on a little white church.
yeah, thank you.
I make a motion to accept the water and sewer monthly report.
One quick thing, but is there any way to keep the rags from getting in those pumps with the screen? Or-
I don't know how, I mean, I don't know how they get them in there till they chew it. I mean, they gotta go through the toilet somehow or another. I think a lot of it's kids, you know, they get in there, flush it, kind of watch it go down, they get it go down and that.
It causes you a lot of aggravation.
Well, it does. Some of the stuff they get in there, I have no idea how they do it. I won't get into that.
So we have a motion, do we have a second?
Yep. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Okay.
I'm gonna go to a Christmas play.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
One more minute.
Oh,
Sure.
Mayor, can you go to J, so that Buzz can say which of these backhoes he would like to purchase? We can have the rest of the
Sure.
discussion later if you want.
we can do that. We have,
It looks like this.
Okay.
So. And then it's all the quotes behind it. I don't know if you remember the New Holland, if we purchased that, it would be an additional 11,853 from reserve. The John Deere is 14,681, and the Caterpillar is 22,842. The rest of it is coming out of our fund balance from our savings. Which one would you like?
Well, I think I'm going for the, it's a little less money, but has some features on there I like. It's the one with like 2 cylinders in the front, so the one right in front of your eyes all the time. And the exhaust now is off to the sides. I think had it before, and good luck with it.
okay. I would entertain a motion to approve it.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
There you go.
All right.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
See you, boss. Thank you.
Enjoy the play.
I will.
Okay, codes. Let's see them here. I go through the codes report. Pretty active.
Yeah, we still have the issue at 69 North Main, but I know he'll work on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's been in contact with me about that. I think he's getting ready to send out a notice of non-compliance to them. But he's waiting some sort of time frame.
maybe they'll email some more old photos back. Anyone have any comments, questions, concerns about the codes report?
It's just a pleasure having something this professional.
Yeah, it is.
It's a joy to go through.
Yep, very
I
comprehensive.
understand it.
Yeah, the 23 South Main is going well. That's the,
Yeah,
New
they're
building.
today.
Yep.
I saw people on top. It's good.
Yeah, he was waiting for a prompt reply Friday afternoon, so I don't know. In 3 days, I'll probably check in. He's pretty good about it.
Yeah.
So,
I'll make a motion to accept the codes report.
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Brett, are you dying to sit through all this, or would you like me to jump privilege of the floor up a little early for you?
You're the boss.
I would, I'd like to go out of order for a second and offer privilege of the floor to anyone that would like to speak. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to update us on?
By the end of next week, hopefully the entire balcony will be leveled down to 1 floor. We're working on getting some old electric out of there. We're hoping to put some plywood down because when we move onto the stage, all of our stuff won't fit in the offices that we're going into. Rather than try to carry stuff outdoors and put it in the trailer, put it up, just carry it up the stairs, put it in the balcony. Half the stairs are gone to the balcony on each side. I know that you went up with me there last week. Things are coming right along. They found a lot of old Pepsi and milk bottles and stuff in the, there's not 1 ounce of insulation other than mouse droppings. So it's been that way for 110 years. So I'm hoping to get insulation down and the floor down. And then we'll have some different options that we can pursue with that. The assessors, the plans are to move the assessor next week. We're waiting for the IT network to be moved. The carpets went down yesterday and today. The light should go in tomorrow and Friday. The molding is going down in what eventually will be the village storage while the work is being done out here. Anita and Karen will move into the area where the historian will ultimately wind up in January when they pay their taxes, pay them by mail. Originally, we were going to try to do this construction, do one side and do the other side. That's only going to prolong the agony. It slows the construction down. So by vacating the central portion, things should go a lot faster. So that's where we are. I mean, if you've got any questions relative to that, I'd be glad to. Just everybody that we're working with, the contractors, employees in the building have been super. You know, there's not been any. It's easy in a situation like this sometimes for people to get sideways a little bit. That's not happened. So everything.
Do we need to move the cigar store, Indian?
We do.
I wouldn't think we need to move it yet.
But we will eventually.
Yes, because, well, that's correct. That center doorway will be right there.
Right.
You know, and maybe they'll work on that during one of the holidays in January or February when the building is not inhabited, either President's Day or Martin Luther King Day, because they work those days. And so that probably would be the appropriate time. It might be the appropriate time also to tackle the window that's going above the stairway. Right now, when you come in, that's got tile on it, but the plans are to put a glass panel there so that window that's been covered up ever since the movie theater started, and we uncovered it early this last year, will shine down into the fourth. So it's also going to shine onto the third floor. Because part of that building, of that window will be above the third floor. So, but yeah, that Indian will have to be moved, and we'll just have to coordinate that, the timing with Bill Klein.
Okay.
Do you have a place for it to go, or is he the one that's moving it? I don't know who Bill is.
So maybe we could move it right into.
I was thinking we could put it in Dan's office.
Well, we
Staring right in front of your desk, Dan.
I know there's been an email between Martin and you and I discussing certain possible locations, so that's over a month ago, but it's really, Village owns it, but it certainly could get moved. It could get moved to the third floor if they had to temporary. I'm just saying temporary.
Yeah. I think I'd be more comfortable if we just had it in Dan's office. I mean, ultimately, I think we want to keep it right with us in this building. So be better just to move it as little as possible. Protect it, so. Any other updates or questions? No?
Oh, yes. It's already been in the paper, but obviously we got turned down for the bridge. It's like pulling teeth to get prices on Pine Street. So we're gonna reactivate the bridge committee, which will consist of you and Pat and Mike and Kevin and Mary Alice, Buzz, John Phelps. Because once we invest money in Pine Street, the odds of us getting any bridge money to fix Wall Street are probably close to none. But the town's very aware that one of those bridges has got to have some work done, and not 10 years from now.
Right.
So that has been discussed. I know Pat was at our last board meeting. So they're very cognizant of the fact that we need to move forward with something.
And is it Barton and Lagoon that's so slow in doing all this?
Yes.
We need to rattle them and make them think we're getting another engineering firm or something?
I don't know. I wondered if they have so much business that it's not important or it's not a big enough job. I don't know. I just know that things shouldn't have to be this complicated.
No. All right, I'll put the squeeze on them a little bit. Just, you know. Is there anything else that we can do as the village to make the construction process easier, to help facilitate it, to make anything that's coming up with the tax collection easier?
Could we help maybe?
Well, Anita and I have had different conversations about what to do. She's going to I think she's going to have the county write a note on the tax bill itself to try to get people to pay by mail. I mean, this is going to affect your people as well when we get into the second phase, because you may have to use the bathrooms downstairs, and people on the stage may have to use the bathrooms in the court. I'm not sure if we could keep one of the bathrooms upstairs functioning.
I don't know, that's not the end of the world.
But you know, I might as well say it publicly, because I said it privately a lot of times in the 15 years that I've been here. The interpersonal relationships in this building have never been better.
That's good to hear.
And that's a compliment to the entire staff.
That's excellent. I just, you know, anything that we can do to help. Yeah, just let us know what we can do. I mean, have you thought about putting a small desk out for Karen to be at or Anita to be at during tax collection? Or,
You mean out front?
yeah, or even my office. They can work out of my office and do it.
Well, they're gonna move into Martin Sweeney's office.
Right, I just figured for people that come in the front door out of habit, they can just go right up in and go into my office and pay if they wanted to. I don't have a problem with that.
Well, I tell you what, I'll throw that by Anita.
Throw it out.
But I let her make those.
Okay,
Those kind of, I try to keep, I don't dictate how she's gonna run the office.
in all honesty, I could, if it would help, run it by her, but I could move to that little office back there, because they're here all the time and they've got a lot to do, and they could have my office for the entire time if they wanted to. So if you want to just offer that to them as a possibility,
All right,
I'd be happy to do that.
okay. I will, I'll see her tomorrow.
I'll even let them take the pictures down if they don't want to see the pictures. Okay. Anything else? Thanks, Fred. You can stay obviously the whole thing if you want, but I figured we have a long one. I wanted to get you out of here if I could. If you.
Well, I appreciate that. I know this gentleman to my left has always has a fantastic report.
He is riveting. Yes.
Yeah, I got to visit with his uncle getting a Christmas tree the other day, so I got a lot of skinning on me.
I will say this, Dan forwarded me the entire agenda with all the reports on it this morning, and I appreciate that.
We'll make sure that you get it from now on, and actually from now on, if we can put Fred up at the top of the agenda. That way you don't have to sit through the whole thing. You can see everything and stay as long as you want, but you don't have to feel like we're holding you hostage until we get to privilege of the floor.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yep. Beautiful. Thank you.
I offered to leave the lights on upstairs so you could look at the stage. Tim said you were gonna be here quite a while.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I believe we are.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Fred.
Thanks, Fred.
Thanks, Fred.
Okay, DPW. What do you think, Mike? You think the snow's gonna melt at all, or you think we've got snow until spring now?
I hope we got a couple weeks break here.
Yeah. You got a cold?
Oh, big time.
Oh, geez.
Supposed to rain next week and 50 degrees.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be nice. When it floods.
Yeah,
Supposed to
we'll
be
be gone
warm
next
this
week.
weekend or something.
Is it even yet?
No,
Not there, right? So, fall.
22nd of December, I think is the official.
I think you're right.
Mike, is the brush in yet for the vent track?
Say it again?
Is the brush in yet? The roller brush?
for the vent track.
No,
Okay.
no, anytime. In fact, we had a conversation with him today and I was a little discouraged, so.
All right.
My sidewalk was plowed before 6.
That's nice.
Yeah, he is doing a very good job.
Very good, thank you. I will tell him.
Mike, I see would it be better to plant the 20 trees that you have in here? Would it be better to wait till spring?
Probably at this point, yeah. I've got a quote on 20 more, because we usually do 20 in the fall and 20 in the spring, so probably we should just try to do them all in the spring at this point.
Okay. I just hate to lose
I'm
them.
in hopes that we can get our Arbor Day deal going.
For real this time, Tim? We're gonna do it this time. You guys are gonna figure out which date?
Right.
Do you want me to look on the calendar now? Or are you good to,
No, I guess.
you'll get it? You got it?
I'm fine with it. I
All
just-
right.
A little advance notice. that's
Look
fine.
out, Village of Homer, Arbor Day is coming. That's right. You thought Christmas was a big holiday. Okay, excellent. Anything else you want to highlight, Mike?
I don't think so. If you guys got any questions, just shoot away.
No, it's a good report.
I haven't got it. I know you put some of the new signs are out for the village. The historic, I haven't looked for them yet, but I know you talked about it.
The other signs that they took down?
Yeah.
Those are the only, I got 2 back. I brought one here and I got the other one. I haven't seen more yet from DOT.
But I mean, they put the new ones up though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did
Now,
you,
there might be some that were missing, the way DOT talked to me, so I don't know for sure.
probably are. I think we only had a couple, but now the question I have is, has anyone seen them? Do they say historic site or historic district?
No, it just says Village of Homer on it.
Oh, it doesn't say historic anything?
No.
They're not the brown ones like that?
All the signs is similar in size. I don't remember what these say, but they have to be colored like all the other state signs, and that's what they are. They're with silver on them, and they're just on their signposts that they had as you entered the village. Says
Yeah.
Village of Homer.
Well, I saw the one then on 281, but the one that's in Dan's office is one of the historic district
Yes,
signs.
correct.
Did they replace those?
No.
They just took those down?
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Thanks.
which is,
DOT.
we'll have to talk about it, obviously, yeah.
Those need to go back.
Yeah, because aren't they federal signs? Isn't the historic district a federal?
They claimed they were their
Designation?
signs, so I don't know how that worked.
That's fine, that's their signs, they need to put them back up then, because
They
Doesn't
need to put them
change
back
the-
up where they say historic village.
Right.
Landmark.
But it also, we need to change it because it says historic site and it needs to say historic district. But, okay,
I can mention it.
would you?
The only other thing I had, Mike, any more conversation with the railroads about doing the crossings? Remember, they were supposed to concrete them this year, but they never did.
Now you're talking to what now? The
Hooker
Those
Ave,
Crossings,
Hooker Ave,
Oh, the
Cayuga,
railroad company?
yeah.
You notice they're here doing the
arms,
arms?
yeah.
yeah.
And all I asked about Hooker Ave and all them again, and they said next year,
Okay,
but they said that last year.
right, yeah. Because I noticed they did Tully before you get to the open areas.
Yes, they're supposed to be coming south. I mean, I know that much.
No big deal, I just wondered if you heard anything.
Nothing lately.
Well, they don't do it by fall, Tim. You can chain me to the railroad tracks, like the old
No.
cartoon,
Yeah, right?
right?
I know that they got a big deal on the Hooker Ave one because it's sinking, obviously. so-
Yeah.
And they know this, so.
All right, anything else for Mike?
That is all.
I'll make a motion to accept Mike's report.
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Mike, you can go home and get some rest.
Thank you. Hopefully I get a week here when the weather breaks. You can leave me with your stuff. too.
No, be in touch, I'll run the other.
Yeah, that was fine.
All right. Fire department.
So Malin, is Nate Stockman an interior firefighter now?
I was glad you mentioned that, because I wanted to bring that up for certain, to make sure that that was out there, that yes, he's met the criteria to be classified as an interior firefighter, what was there, 160 hours or something like that, that he's put in training.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations to him, that's,
his
Fantastic.
brother is coming up behind him, probably gonna do the same, twin brother. The only difference I can tell is one's got a beard and one doesn't. So, yeah.
Good.
That's something that's nice when we see him spend that kind of time. And
Yeah,
I worked with him as an instructor just for a couple of days, but from the other instructors that were there, they said he's good catch, if you want to put it that way.
oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Any other things you want to highlight?
No, the only other thing I can talk with maybe was with Dan, that we talked about this a couple of days ago. We finally made it come through today. Pat was there. The Town of Homer board,
Yep.
Town of Homer Fire District had their joint public hearing. They approved the contract. We got the wording and all that stuff set today. I didn't have to see it on the agenda, but it's good to go. If you guys can sign that, I'll sign it.
Sure.
We get it to the fire district, and we should be good to go with that one. And I know Pat's working with Summerhill to get that one finalized as well. So those two things are moving along
Excellent.
as we need to. I think Dan was going to print out, already did the 3 copies of the contract and.
No, well, there's multiple copies on the table, yeah.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we need 3 of them signed, one for the village, one for the town, and one for the fire department.
You can do it tomorrow anyway, so.
Yep, that's fine.
Oh, they need to be notarized?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can sign it. we can-
Okay,
Yeah, signatures.
if you sign yours tonight.
sure.
We're gonna be putting a purchase order in, for the turnout gear, so I'll bring that up. It appears for the 10 sets of gear, it's going to be, I think it might be right on or very close to the budget's 19,500. As it is right now, we're hoping that the purchase order will hold the price, because we have to get people sized for the gear.
Right,
But the company that we buy from was sold to another company, and they may not hold it, but the people that we actually buy it from, Drone Farm Equipment,
their own fire equipment, is trying to do everything that they can to hold the price because we bought that gear for such a long time and they know that we're good for it. And so hopefully the purchase order will secure the price lock. If it doesn't, it may go up, but we can't do anything about what business does for price increases. So we're gonna try to hold it with the purchase order and just say we're buying 10 sets and then give them the sizes later.
I got a scenario that came up at work today. I want to ask you your opinion. So, guy I worked with, his girlfriend calls him, says her CO2 detector was going off.
Yep.
Would you, A, call the gas company first, or would you call the fire department first?
Typically 911.
Okay.
Call the emergency number. The reason is that they will ask certain questions to determine if somebody feels ill, dizzy, which may give them an indication that there could be carbon monoxide. Just as an example, last week we had one at, I don't know, 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning on White Bridge Circle. Their detector went off. They exited the house, we got there, and there was an extremely high level of CO.
Okay.
So their detector was functioning. We metered it and said, yep, there's something wrong. So they did the right thing. The gas company got there and it turned out to be a plugged chimney in the wood stove that was not letting it vent correctly. It was not a gas issue, but their meter is a little more sensitive than ours. So yeah, call 911, we'll come, we'll meter. Sometimes we'll look at, and most of the detectors will tell you on the back of them, if you take them down, it will tell you if it beeps this many times, faulty detector or low battery or what have you.
Okay.
The ones that you buy now, by law, have to be a 10-year battery. But that doesn't mean that they still don't malfunction within that 10-year time frame.
Sure.
But we carry meters that look at that, and if there's anything that we think is suspicious or have an issue, then we'll call NYSEG or whoever the gas provider is. It may be a propane, but still it's a gas-fired furnace or stove or water heater or something like that.
Yep.
And they're responsible to come, if we call them and meter it and find out. So yeah, call 911. That's what we're there for.
Yep.
We'll come and check it, and we may be able to determine, the detector's bad, go buy another one.
Yep.
And typically, if they're over 10 years old,
You want to replace it?
they are definitely reaching the end of their lifespan.
Yep.
So, go buy a new one, but usually they'll tell you the number of beeps and how often, what's going on, so.
Yeah, it came up today, and I thought that'd be a good thing for folks that are watching online or anything like
Yes.
that to know. So.
911's there for a reason.
Yep.
And an old guy that was in the fire department long before I was, and is long since dead and buried, said, we have steering wheels and reverse gear in our fire trucks for a reason. We can always get them back home. So,
Appreciate that, thank you.
yes.
Anybody else? Make a motion to accept the fire report.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Neil.
Good with everything, and then
Do we need to,
let them have a little dinner, or if you want to move that other item up, that's up to you guys, but.
Which items do you want to move up?
that would be the,
Aye.
I.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, aye, and then, so we'll.
That's the only one, I think. I don't have the agenda, but I think there's only one other item.
Okay,
Relative to the park.
Yep. yeah, let's do that.
And do we need to go into executive session for that? Dante,
Not to approve him.
No.
But to discuss his application.
but to
If you
discuss
have
the application.
Personal, you have confidential information or medical information you're discussing, then it's a
You don't want
personnel
to
issue
disclose
and
that,
it's appropriate to go in executive session.
Do you think we need to?
I think we need
To
to,
bring them up to speed?
Yeah.
Okay,
and, so.
okay. All right, then we will have to go into a brief executive session to discuss personnel issue. So can I get a motion to enter executive session?
Make a motion to go into executive session.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Right.
Okay.
Sorry, Nick.
Sorry.
Zach, I'm not sorry for you, but I am sorry for Nick.
We'll,
And Chief.
It won't be long. It won't be long.
we'll come out and grab you as soon as it's done.
He needs to stay.
Yeah, you guys are getting to leave.
Camera off.
Hold on.
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah, I hope